Dad's on deck, horror shop, it's where all the cool kids go. The friendly info will show you around. We reward him with the fresh souls of our customers. Candles, t-shirts, branded tees, and so much more. Tags on deck, horror shop, you will never want to leave. Your friendly info will show you around. We reward him with the fresh souls of our customers. Candles, t-shirts, branded tees, and so much more. Dad's on deck, horror shop, you will never want to leave.
They're all messed up.
Beyond recognition. Yeah, they're all messed up, scared and alive. Chainsaw ripped apart, magnified. All messed up, dead, yeah, dead. All messed up. Punctured eyes, blocked out, chopped up like firewood. Yeah, they're all messed up.
Howdy, gang, and welcome to yet another edition of They're All Messed Up. I had to make this one a little bit later because I was a little bit late getting started rewatching these films. Both of these, The Cannibal Man and The Case of the Bloody Iris, I have seen, but before I get on here and discuss these films, it's always a good idea to rewatch them. And we're going to get to these and get to the kills in these films in just a little bit, but I want to get some housekeeping stuff out of the way first. Candace and I, first off, we're planning on, if all goes well, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, we're planning on having another Friday Foolish, covering the second half of our drive-in memory special. So stay tuned for that. I'm not sure what time I'm going to do this Childhood Nightmares watch along for the film Cassandra, but I'm planning on doing that tomorrow evening. And for those of you that have not seen Cassandra before, which is a Australian slasher from the late 80s, I think you're in for a real treat. Now, I was not able to find it anywhere that you could watch it on your own for free. However, I have found a version of it that I've got for myself to watch, because the version that Steve got me in the last year or so, when one of his hard drives died, that movie went bye-bye. So it is available download from Rare Lust, but I'm not going to ask you guys and gals to do that. necessarily. If you already have a copy of it, fantastic. But I'm going to try to figure out a link that I can provide for you guys and gals so that you can watch the version that I am going to be watching tomorrow night. Okay. So I just got to figure out exactly what time. So, you know, be on the lookout for that promotion to pop up here shortly. Um, I was going to go ahead and do the promotion last night and then figured out, ooh, I got to see if I can actually get this movie or not first. All right. As this is a live stream, movie roulette is in full effect. And for those of you that don't know what movie roulette is, here's how you play. If you give a $5 super chat or more during any live stream I do, that includes watch alongs, that includes this one right here. You can pick any movie of your choosing for me to watch and do a review of. Any movie, folks. It could even be one that I said that I hated in the past. Who knows? I might like it this time around. Okay. And then I might have to do another episode of Evil Dead Chick Eats Crow. But so that's how you play movie roulette. And let's see, hop on over to deadeyesondeck.com. Tell them Poe sent you. Got a few new designs up for t-shirts and tote bags and all that good stuff. There's blended teas on the site. There are candles on the site. So be sure to hop on over there. Like I said, tell them Poe sent you. And take a look at what I've got up there. There's going to be more stuff coming soon. So be on the lookout for that. New designs, some plushies, etc., etc. Let's see. Trying to think if I need to remind anybody of anything else. Well, no watch alongs this weekend other than the special Childhood Nightmares Cassandra watch along. But I am planning on Sunday doing a pre-recorded movie munchies for the Slaughtered Lamb pub cheese. So for those of you that are big fans of American Werewolf in London, you know what the Slaughtered Lamb is. It's that little pub bar or whatever that the main guys stop off at the beginning of the film or near the beginning of the film. Excuse me. I feel like I'm starting to get a cold or something. Okay. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started talking about the kills in The Cannibal Man and The Case of the Bloody Iris. Plus, I'll give my thoughts on the movie itself. Okay. If my voice stays with me. And just all of a sudden got hoarse. So I don't have an actual physical copy of The Cannibal Man. So I'm showing you guys and gals an old VHS copy of Cannibal Man. And let's talk about the kills in this one. This came out in 1972, directed by Eloy de la Iglesia, and I'm probably massacring that name. All right. And I do believe this was on the Video Nasties. I'm not sure which grouping it was on, but it was part of that Video Nasties furor in the UK way back when. So we had 6 kills in this movie. So we got a man hit in the head with a large rock, a woman strangled, a man bludgeoned with a wrench, woman's throat slit, man's face chopped with meat cleaver, and a woman's head beat against the wall repeatedly until she's dead. Okay. Not like any spectacular kills in this. Some of them were a little bit more bloody than others. I like this movie okay, but it's not a very long movie, but it seemed a little longer. I don't know if the pacing is just off on this movie or what it is. And there were some things thrown in there, like a guy who appeared to be homosexual. Um, but there was never any, like, he didn't come on to the main guy in the movie or anything like that. So I don't understand what the reasoning was behind that. You could clearly tell that he was attracted to Marcos, the main guy in the film. It's the guy that you see on the VHS cover there. Okay. And I'm not against them having, a homosexual or a lesbian character. You see a lot of that, especially in Jallows. Um, but when a character, homosexual or not, is in a movie and they really don't do anything to move the plot along, I don't care what sexual orientation they are. It just seems like a waste, you know. So, um, we have Marcos, who is works in a slaughterhouse, and I will warn you, um, people sensitive to real animal deaths on screen may want to fast forward past the first couple of minutes or so, because this appears to be real slaughterhouse footage that you're seeing of cows being slaughtered, and mm, it wasn't my thing. So I had forgotten about that. Evidently, I was like, "Oh Lord!" So I just kind of scooted on past that. It didn't really hurt anything as far as the movie. Um, so Marcos, the main guy, he works in a slaughterhouse, and he appears to be in love with his girlfriend. Um, there are, several sex scenes in the film. Um, he the waitress at the local diner flirts with him all the time, and she's like, "You need a real woman, not these girls," and stuff like that. So, um, but he continues to go after the younger ladies, and him and his girlfriend catch a taxi one night, and they're making out in the backseat of this taxi cab, and the taxi driver is not taking too kindly to them doing that, and he kicks them out of his cab. And he says, "Don't think you're gonna, get away scot free and not pay me." Um, and so Marcos becomes really angry, and even more angry when this guy starts slapping his girl around. So he picks up a big rock and hits the guy in the head with it, thinking, he's just knocked the guy out and the guy will, have to stew in his own juices a little bit. Well, he finds out the next day that the man died. It's in the newspapers. And he's frightened, because he was angry, but he didn't mean to kill the guy. But this starts him on a roller coaster ride, basically, that he's unable to stop. In that his girlfriend's like, "We can't have it," because she's been talking about marriage and he's agreed to marriage. But then after he accidentally kills the taxi driver, she starts being a real bitch to him, saying, "We can't have a relationship on lies," and all that. So he ends up strangling her. And then it just goes on and on. He kills his brother. I mean, he kills a total of 6 people in this film. But he doesn't kill the homosexual guy. He almost does. He breaks a glass and he sticks it up to this guy's throat, but for whatever reason, he does not kill the guy. But his house starts to smell, and it's getting harder and harder to hide these bodies. And he, as the bodies pile up, he's farming out pieces of the bodies and taking them to the slaughterhouse and disposing of them. And so you've got that element. And so not a lot of plot to get in the way with this one. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. The guy I mean, it's a slow descent into madness is the best way that I could describe it. And anytime anybody tries to expose him or encourages him to expose himself and call the cops and tell him what he's done, he has to kill another person. I mean, like I said, he kills his girlfriend, he kills his brother, he kills his brother's fiance. It just goes, on and on. Um, so the movie's just okay, in my opinion. Not anything to write home about, and nothing that I'm really going to run right out there to see again. Probably the notoriety that came about with this film was due to the video nasties furor. And so, there was a time when I wanted to watch every video nasty film that there was. But then I soon realized that not a lot of them are, there's a small percentage of them that are probably worth watching. And, I don't believe in the video nasty stuff. I thought that stuff was ridiculous. Them wanting to incarcerate people for selling or renting these films. It's just a bunch of nonsense. Um, but um, if they were on a video nasties list, I would hope that they would be, entertaining and gory. Why else, would you want to seek them out? So this one had a fair amount of blood. I wouldn't really call it gory. And the pacing was a little too slow for me. The film seemed like it was twice as long as it should have been. So anyway, I am going to give this one somewhere in the range of 3 to 3.5 deadites out of 5. Not a really great movie. And I think Steve said it best. He said it was more of a drama with murders in it than anything, right? So the next one, and I hope this doesn't get me in trouble. It's really not, showing anything because Edwidge Fenech's her likeness there is basically covered up. But this is the case of the Bloody Iris. It's a giallo. Has Edwidge Fenech and George Hilton in it. They did several of these films together. So what I originally had in my notes, this one also came out in 1972, but I had the director as Giuliano Canimio, and I'm probably massacring that. But the actual 4K that I watched, which belongs to Steve, said it was directed by Anthony Ascott. And that's what it says on the movie. So I don't know if the Anthony Ascott is a pseudonym or not. But there were 7 kills total in this one more than Cannibal Man. So we have a woman stabbed and her throat slashed. We have a woman drowned in the bathtub, man stabbed in the stomach, a woman stabbed in the stomach. I was beginning to think I was watching Friday the 13th Part 5, honestly. Woman scalded by steam, man's throat slit, and a man falls down several flights of stairs to his death. Okay, so this is your typical giallo, not my favorite giallo. And again, not one that I'm really super, super interested in going back and watching really quickly. But it's a decent giallo nonetheless. And, if you're a fan of Edwidge Fenech, you get to see that little beauty on the screen quite a bit. And you get to see some boobage from Miss Fenech as well.
Said boobies.
Yes, I did, Poe. So Poe popped in here once again. So you got your typical murders, Giallo murders. You've got a typical Giallo killer. They're dressed and they've got a mask over their face. They're wearing the gloves, not black gloves this time, but like a tan colored gloves. You've got red herrings galore in this. And yeah, I mean, it's just typical. It's nothing that stands out really for me. It's not an awful movie. Um, it's just basically Edwidge Fennec running around. Sometimes she's naked, sometimes she's not. Running around trying to figure out who is sneaking into her apartment and, trying to kill her or killing those around her. And she keeps guessing wrong all along the way. And there are a lot of twists and turns in it. First she thinks her ex-husband is doing the killings, but he gets killed off early on, so we know that it's not him. Um, but there are several other red herrings throughout this film, and there's this, I don't know if you would really call it a subplot or not, but her ex-husband, it seemed like a cult mentality because it shows flashbacks of a group of people, and he's telling Edwidge, "You're my wife, and we will be together forever," and it's all this weird vibe. Um, a subplot that I don't even think needed to be there unless it was trying to make her ex-husband look guilty. So George Hilton's character becomes her boyfriend in the film. Um, she suspects even him at some points. But just a middle of the road Giallo for me. Not really anything again to write home about. But I will give it a little bit higher rating than I did Cannibal Man. I'm going to give this one 4 deadites out of 5 because it had, a little bit more slashing in it. And these are supposed to be slashers. And I think whatever list I'm pulling these from, some of these aren't, purely slasher films. But Giallo films tend to be the equivalent of American slasher film, right? But they also tend to be more stylish and more colorful and all of that good stuff. Okay. So I guess that is all for me for tonight's edition of They're All Messed Up. I want to thank the people that were popping in and out throughout this. Nobody really chatting tonight, which is okay. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to doing some things that people want to actually get in here and chat about, or join me on streams, which you guys and gals are all welcome to do. If you see something that I'm going to have upcoming and you would be interested in getting on here and talking about it with me on the live stream, then please reach out to me and I'll try to make sure that you get the link to join me. And I also want to thank anybody that will watch this on the replay, because sometimes I get several people that watch it on the replay and I'm guessing they're not able to join during the live stream. So with all that being said, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Thursday night, folks. We get Friday out of the way, and for many of us, it's going to be a 3-day weekend, right? For some of us, it might be a 4-day weekend. I'm not sure. But I'm going to have a 3-day weekend because Monday is Memorial Day, and my employer does recognize that holiday. And so I think me and Steve just got a Blackstone grill. Actually, Steve bought the Blackstone grill, and I think we're going to cook some hamburgers and stuff this weekend. So I hope you guys and gals have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend and celebrate in style. some people might say, well, you're not supposed to celebrate on Memorial Day. Well, you can, you can. And you can do it respectfully as well. So I'm out of here for now, but I'll see everybody next time.